Hello and welcome everyone. So Witcher 3 next gen update just dropped today. You can download and experience it for free. But what exactly is there in the update? Well, that's what we're doing in this video. I will go over everything that's new and important with the next gen update. Let's not waste any more time and get right into it. First off, when you launch the game now, it launches something called Red Launcher. You can choose to log in with your good old games account, and when you do so, you get a free reward, including a full armor and sword set and a Gwent card. By this way, it also cloud syncs your save files. There will be a little cloud icon on your save files, which means it is synced with cloud and can be played on other platforms. So now you can play same save file on PC, console, or even Switch. After you launch the game, on the main menu, there was an additional content section here where you could see all your installed DLCs, an option to turn them on and off for some of them. Now they are carried to the gameplay section of the menu, where you will also find Witcher Netflix series inspired Dandelion and Nilfgaardian armor set DLCs. But additionally, we get this My Reward section on the main menu, where you can again see the good old games launcher rewards. On the settings, we got some new stuff. First on the audio settings, we now have these dynamic range options. On the control settings, we have a lot of new options, starting with target lock unaffected by camera inversion option. Right below it, for controller only, there's an option to sprint by pressing left stick or L3. Without this, the sprint button was X and you had to hold it. I cannot stress how big of a deal this is. It sucks using X for running. Looking at you, Rockstar. It doesn't change the sprint for horse, however. You still need to use X for making Roach go faster. Also, there is now an option for adaptive triggers for those who plays on PS5 or uses DualSense on PC. Next up, on the video options, on HUD configuration, we now have options to change font size of dialogue and NPC chatter. There are options to turn off point of interests in the minimap to prevent clutter. You can even now turn off minimap and objectives during exploration for maximum immersion if you want. But the most important settings with the new update is graphics. We now have ray tracing with multiple options, so it is not just some random ray tracing like first ray tracing enabled games used to be. This is proper all-around ray tracing for everything. Below ray tracing, there is also new AMD FSR and NVIDIA DLSS options for those who are interested or want to get some extra performance from their card. And for the graphics, there is now the Ultra Plus option on every single graphic option. Here are the list of things Ultra Plus option increases. This is nothing new actually. You could go above and beyond this before by playing around with the config file. But with that, we're finally done with settings. Now let's get to the gameplay. What are the improvements with the gameplay, right? There is now an option for quick sign casting. It adds one extra button press for casting signs, sure, but now you no longer have to open signs menu 100 times in a fight to switch between signs. Right now it kind of feels weird, obviously, as something new after hundreds of hours should, but I think this is overall going to be an improvement on gameplay after I get the muscle memory dialed in. There is an option, assisted camera rotation in combat, for controls only. It basically rotates camera to enemy you are attacking. Sometimes in combat with multiple enemies, you start attacking the enemy behind you. They get out of the camera, you get out of the camera, don't know what's going on. Shit is crazy, but no more with this option. And a quick side note, to me, it also feels more engaging this way. And below that, we have camera distance options for 3 scenarios: exploration, combat, and horse riding. This closer camera feels so much more immersive than previous long distance camera. I set them close on exploration and horse riding for ultimate immersion, and long distance for combat because obviously I want to see what's going on around me in a combat. Now also, when you collect in herbs, there is no longer an additional window pops up. Before, that was a pain. You were using X for running and X for collecting, so the moment you pressed X, you would stop running and it was annoying as fuck. Now you can collect herbs while running and it's a good improvement. You can now pause game during cutscenes. There was a mod like this before, but it's nice they included this in the update. I mean, what if you needed to go to the bathroom during a long cutscene, right? There's also some graphical changes like new sky textures, vegetation and water improvements, some mesh improvements, some visual effects improvements like signs and stuff. There is better global environmental illumination. And there's also a new weather type called Gray Sky. I mentioned these in gameplay section because they are not graphic options, they are just graphical changes and improvements with the update, and obviously at the end improves the gameplay. There is a new default map filter that gets rid of things like board icons, point of interest icons on the world map to make it cleaner and easier to see things. But don't worry, they are not disappeared, you can still enable them by changing map filter to all. There's a mentioning of a photo mode in the patch notes, but I just couldn't find it. Expecting an additional update in following days for this, it's probably bugged or something. There's a new side quest named In the Eternal Fire's Shadow in Melon, with I believe an armor and sword set reward at the end that is inspired by Netflix show. There's also a lot of small fixes like hair clipping in some armors and other small fixes. I won't go all over them because that would be boring, but this is pretty much all the new stuff with this update. It might not look like much, but guys, remember, this is a next-gen update for almost an 8-year-old game, given to us for completely free. Most games charge you $10 for just some graphical improvements under the name of next-gen update. Considering we get that graphical improvement for free and much more DLCs, gameplay fixes, and quality of life improvements for completely free, it's kinda great. If you were interested in Witcher 3 or you had Witcher 3 but it was collecting dust in your library, there was never a better time to play it than now. I want to thank CD Projekt Red for this great free update, all the new things they brought to the table, and also want to thank you for watching this video. Until we see each other next time, take care everyone.
Dum 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 dum.